proper movie sequels compared to improper movie sequels. Of course, I'm talking about Terminator 2 and Transformers 2. The first thing I wanted to say is female protagonist. You have, on one hand, one of the strongest female characters in the history of cinema in Sarah Connor, especially in Terminator 2. And then, on the other hand, you have literally just sex appeal. Like, seriously, that's all she is. She was practically useless the entire Transformers movie. Like, oh, well, what, when Shia LaBeouf was about to get raped by a robot, she came in to save the day. Like, you don't think he would have discovered she was not human? He would have discovered she was a robot. He still would have fled. Well, what about at the end when everyone thought he was dead? Like, she didn't do anything to revive him. There was nothing wrong. He still would have died and still have been brought back by the Pines. So she was still useless in that movie. If I'm wrong, please, just tell me. Help me out here. I was going to talk about the main robot in both movies. Now, some of you are probably going to say that Bumblebee is the main robot, which I disagree. But everyone knows Optimus Prime is the star robot in Transformers 2. So in that case, look at Optimus Prime and then look at the T-800 from Terminator 2, Arnold Schwarzenegger's character. Arnold Schwarzenegger did not only made himself famous with the original character from the original Terminator, but he changed the way we look at heroes and leads in Terminator 2. Optimus Prime dies less than an hour in the movie. They kill him off. So they spend the entire movie without Optimus Prime. The main robot is dead. Like, oh, but Bumblebee is his protector. He should be like the T-800. Oh, really? Okay, fine. Let's say Bumblebee is the protector, just like the T-800 is John Connor's protector. Fine. Let's say that. Problem is, Shia LaBeouf goes to college, Bumblebee stays home. Keep in mind, he goes to college on the other side of the freaking country. Bumblebee does not talk, which is a big problem in a movie, especially with a movie like this. You need a lot of dialogue to explain the amount of action you're seeing. At least that's the way I see it. I was going to touch base on let's talk about the primary protagonist. Shia LaBeouf's character, Sam Witwicky, and Eddie Furlong's character, John freaking Connor. Clearly there is an age difference. But you have to see that there are times when John Connor acts more grown up than Sam Witwicky. And vice versa. Because again, he's supposed to play a 10-year-old. He's supposed to be 10 years old. So yeah, he's going to play a kid. But you've got to keep in mind, this kid knows how to break into ATMs. He knows how to shoot weapons. He knows how to do a lot of shit. Sam Witwicky knows how to bitch and complain. He barely knows how to talk to girls. He barely knows how to do anything. He's barely even social in the majority of the Transformers movies. And he just wants to have a normal life. That's the other thing that I wanted to bring up. Both characters, John Connor and Sam Witwicky, never wanted the life that was given to them. They just wanted to have a normal life. A regular, normal life. Which, you know as well as I do, that doesn't happen. That can't happen. In John Connor's case, Nick Stoll's character from Terminator 3 said it best. Imagine, for a moment, that you were single-handedly responsible for doing probably the greatest thing in the history of mankind. But the catch is, something really, really, really tragic has to happen first. Now let's say that you knew this was going to happen. Wouldn't you want to try to prevent this tragedy from happening? Or would you just let it play out? A good amount of people are going to say that they would try to fix things. And most people would say they would not feel right if they didn't if they didn't try to fix, or they wouldn't feel right if they didn't try to change anything. So in that case, I gotta give it to John Connor. I mean, you don't really know what Sam Witwicky's, or the whole story with Sam Witwicky, but how is it that through 2 movies, you know what Sarah Connor is to these movies and what John Connor is to these movies? Yet we're still unaware of what Shia LaBeouf is capable of. I mean, come on. You just don't know how to plot and structure a film like James Cameron can do. And the use of explosions and car crashes. My theory with the Terminator franchise is that since the future is the present, for the Terminators. So when they destroy stuff, like cars, buildings, and when they kill people, none of it matters. Because in the end, everything and everyone dies. Because Judgment Day will eventually happen. So the car that just rear-ended you, if you look at it like that, it's eventually not going to matter. Because that car is going to be gone, that guy is going to be dead, and it's not going to matter. That was my whole outlook on the Terminator movies. All of this bad shit is happening because the Terminators don't care, because they know what happens in the end. Obviously, it's different because they are just Terminators, but that was my whole theory and philosophy inside the Terminator universe. It may be silly, but that's the way I look at it. Of course, Transformers, on the other hand, the present is just that. It's the present. So when they're destroying countless buildings and blowing up several cars, they are doing literally that. They do not care. And that's the difference between Terminator and Transformers. You already know the ending. The outlook is bleak. Judgment Day is happening. Obviously, you know the outcome of Terminator 2. But for the most part, it didn't matter because Judgment Day still happened. Transformers, on the other hand, they just destroy shit because they think, well, we gotta kill these Decepticons by any means necessary. So Autobots are destroying shit for the greater good. You can take it any way you want. I don't need to go into great detail about how bad Transformers 2 is. I've done 2 videos on Transformers 2 and they were both taken down. I might try a third time, we'll see. I could do 30 minutes of how good Terminator 2 is. Maybe even more. But there really is no comparison. But it's a good comparison, even though there really is no comparison between the two. One is a proper sequel to a movie, and the other one is not. Transformers 1 took years. Years of writing, years of production to happen. And in less than 365 days, we had Transformers 2. It took years to create the Terminator, and guess what? It took several more years to create Terminator 2. So what does that tell you?